The mirror apartment. It started with one of those nights where I couldn't sleep. You know the kind where you're lying there, scrolling endlessly, half watching videos, half hoping you'll get bored enough to drift off. I was deep into a rabbit hole of apartment tours. Random creators showing off their places, small space makeovers, minimalist kitchens. Just background noise, really. Then I saw it. The thumbnail wasn't anything special, just a wide shot of a modern studio. Maybe a bit too neat, but something about it made me click. Maybe the lighting, maybe the angle. And that's when everything shifted. The video loaded, and for a second, I thought I'd hit one of my own recordings by mistake. The room on screen was my room. Not like my room. It was my room. Down to the scratch on the hardwood near the bathroom. The dent on the right side of the fridge from where I dropped a cast iron pan last year. The chipped corner of the bookshelf I keep meaning to fix. Same rug. Same coffee mug. Same freaking throw blanket with the hole in the corner. I sat up, heart starting to pound. The person behind the camera didn't speak. They just moved slowly, giving a full 360-degree view of the space. No music, no narration. Just ambient room noise. The sound of a neighbor's dog barking faintly. The low hum of the fridge. My fridge. And then they turned toward the bed. Someone was lying there. They weren't moving. At first, I thought they were asleep. But the moment the camera landed on them, they sat up. Just a little. Not to look at the camera, no. They looked off to the side, like they'd heard something. Their face wasn't clear. Slightly out of focus, a little too far for detail. But I knew one thing. It wasn't me. They had my bed, my sheets, my posture even. But it wasn't me. I paused the video, rewound, watched it again, over and over. That wasn't me. I checked the comments. Nothing strange, just typical reactions. Nice place. Where'd you get the rug? Love the layout. The username wasn't familiar, just some string of random characters. Barely any subscribers. One video posted 4 hours ago. I refreshed the page. Gone. The video had been deleted. The account too. Dead link. Like it had never existed. I spent the next 2 days searching for it, rechecking my watch history, even though I already knew it wouldn't be there. I scoured forums, tried reverse image searching screenshots I'd luckily taken. Nothing. And then 3 days later, I saw it again. Different account, different username, different profile picture. But the video, the exact same video, was back. Except this time, something had changed. The person on the bed, it was me, not a lookalike. Not someone dressed like me. It was me. Same face, same haircut, even the little scar on my neck from when I slipped with a box cutter last winter. The camera caught it, just for a second, in a beam of afternoon light. I watched, horrified, as I sat up in bed, turned to the left, just like before, and stared at something off screen. But I hadn't done that. I hadn't recorded that. I hadn't been in that bed when the video was made. I checked my security cam app. Nothing out of the ordinary. My building doesn't even allow filming without a permit, and I sure as hell didn't let anyone in. I messaged the account that posted it. No response. Hours later, that video was gone too. Deleted again. Wiped clean. But it didn't stop there. Every few days, another version of the video would appear. Same room, same furniture, same sounds. Always a new account. Always slightly altered. Sometimes the bed was empty. Sometimes there were 2 people. One time there was a figure standing in the doorway. tall, motionless, watching the camera from just out of frame. But always, eventually, the video would vanish. And then it got worse. I started noticing things in my apartment. Little things at first. A chair pushed slightly out of place. The fridge light flickering even though the bulb was brand new. I found a coffee mug, identical to mine, but with a tiny chip on the opposite side of the handle. My mug had the chip on the left. This one, right side. I started locking the bedroom door at night. Something I'd never done before. It didn't help. I'd wake up and the door would be cracked open. I bought a new bedspread. A totally different color. Burnt orange instead of gray. 2 days later, a new video showed up. Same room. Same everything. But the bedspread? Orange. The comments were back too. But this time, one stood out. Just a single sentence. You look better in this version. That account? Gone within the hour. It's been 2 weeks now. I've stopped sleeping in the bed. I moved my mattress to the living room floor, unplugged all the cameras in the apartment, covered the mirrors, but it doesn't matter. The last video, just posted this morning, shows me lying on the living room floor, blanket pulled up to my chin, fast asleep. And in the background, the bedroom door slowly creaking open. The classmate who stayed seated. After graduation, I did the thing most people do. I flipped through my yearbook one last time. Just for nostalgia, to laugh at the dumb quotes, point out who dated who, maybe cringe at my haircut. That's when I saw him. Middle row, page 47. Between Gracie Lynn and Hannah Delgado. A boy. Black hoodie, slouched posture, no smile. I blinked. I had no idea who he was. I thought maybe he was part of another class that got lumped into ours by accident, but no. His name was printed under the photo. Plain as day. Same font as everyone else's. Same layout. Same size. I turned to the group class photo. He was there too. Back row, far left. Standing with his hands in his hoodie pocket, head slightly tilted like he wasn't sure he belonged there. I didn't recognize him, not even a little. I checked the list of graduates. There he was again. Then the club photos, art club, yearbook committee, even chess club, which I was in. There he was, sitting right next to me. But I had no memory of him at all, not a single one. At first, I thought it was a printing error or some weird joke. Maybe someone added him in post, a prank or something. So I asked around. I texted Hannah. Hey, do you remember the guy between you and Gracie in the yearbook photo? She replied, You mean Matt? Of course. He was always quiet, but super nice. I stared at the message for a while, feeling off. I asked Jamie from math class. Same answer. Matt, who sat in the back, always in that hoodie, he was like, always there. Even Mr. Dawes, our English teacher, said, Matthew? Yeah, good kid. His mom gave me a graduation card with a little Starbucks gift card in it. Very sweet of her. I was losing it. I went home, dug out my old notebooks from senior year. Just to prove to myself, he wasn't real. But I found him. In the margins, drawings, doodles, scribbles of a figure in a hoodie, sitting at a desk, over and over. Sometimes with little notes next to them, quiet guy in back. Doesn't blink much. Why does he always sit there? I didn't remember drawing any of it. I called my mom into the room, asked her point blank, did I ever talk about someone named Matt from school? She thought for a moment. Was that the boy you said gave you weird vibes during English class? Number, I never said that. Not once. But she was so certain. For days, I couldn't let it go. I combed through every scrap of high school I had. Photos, texts, group projects, and there he was. Barely noticeable, always in the background, like he'd always been there. Except, he hadn't. Not in my memory. And then came the message. I was up late, insomnia doing its thing, scrolling through old emails and random stuff, when a message popped up. No subject. Just, once you graduate, it's your turn to sit. It was from an address I didn't recognize. Just a random string of numbers and letters. No profile picture, no signature. Just that one sentence. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I visited the old school building. Not for any real reason. Just needed to prove to myself that it was just a dumb prank or a stress-induced breakdown. But when I walked past room 3B, our old English classroom, I saw something through the little window in the door. A student sitting alone in the back left seat. Black hoodie, head down. I froze. He looked up, and I swear to you, he looked exactly like me. Not just similar, not sort of like me. Number exactly. My face, my hair, my expression. He didn't smile. He just tilted his head, like he didn't recognize me. I ran. Haven't been back since. But the messages keep coming. Different variations, all from untraceable addresses. Are you ready? It's almost your turn. We always need someone in that seat. I tried blocking them, reporting them. Nothing works. I've even started seeing him in photos again. A reflection in the window. A shape in the back of a group shot. Always sitting. Always watching. And then, just last night, another message came through. Same words as the first time. Once you graduate, it's your turn to sit. But this time, it ended with, the last one finally stood up. The future broken. It happened late one night. Nothing dramatic. No thunderstorm. No flickering lights. I was just getting ready for bed, holding my phone in one hand, brushing my teeth with the other. I dropped it. It slipped out of my palm, bounced once off the edge of the sink, and landed face down on the tiled floor. Not the first time. I'd dropped it 12 times before. But when I picked it up, something was different. The screen flickered, then glitched, and just before it went black, a single notification flashed across the top. Only for a second, but I read it. We offer our condolences. Cremation scheduled. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Name, my full name. Date, August 17th, 2025. That date was 3 days away. I blinked. The screen was dead. I held down the power button. Nothing. The battery had been over 50% a few minutes ago. I plugged it in, waited, then turned it back on. The screen lit up. Normal lock screen. No notifications. I swiped down. Nothing. No message, no log, no recent alert, no weird apps running in the background. It was like it never happened. I told myself I was just tired. Maybe I'd seen something else and misread it. Maybe it was some morbid ad or a pop-up gone wrong. My brain just filled in the rest. I mean, it had my name, and the date, and that word, cremation. Still, I forgot about it after a day or two. And then my uncle died. Out of nowhere. Heart attack. He wasn't even that old. Fit, actually. One of those guys who biked to work and avoided salt like it was poison. The funeral was small. Family only. They cremated him at 10 a.m. on August 17th. Same date, same time. The only difference was the name. Mine. That's when I stopped brushing it off. I started taking screenshots of everything. Every screen. Every weird glitch. Every alert. I backed up all my photos. kept a physical calendar with handwritten notes, like I was prepping for something. But nothing happened. Not for a while. Then, maybe 2 weeks later, I dropped my phone again. Different spot. Kitchen floor this time. Same result. Glitch. Flicker. Flash. This time, the message read, "Delayed departure notice. Flight 637, August 29th, 2025. Now departs. 4:45 p.m. I'd never booked a flight. Didn't even know what airline it was from. I checked all my emails, apps, calendars. Nothing. I showed it to a friend. Well, I told him about it. But I hadn't caught a screenshot. When I rebooted the phone, the message was gone again. A week later, I got a call from my cousin. Her father, my other uncle, had died in a car accident. She was flying in from out of state. Her flight was delayed. Flight 637. New departure time. 4:45 p.m. August 29th. Exactly what I saw. Exactly. Now it wasn't a coincidence. It couldn't be. I tried switching phones, transferred everything to a new device. For a while things were quiet. Then, one morning, I dropped that phone on the sidewalk. Not even a hard fall. Just a small crack near the corner. The screen lit up, jittered, and there it was again. This one was worse. Confirmed. Severe structural fire. Location: 312 Halston Avenue. Date: September 3rd, 2025. Time: 2:36 a.m. My parents live at 310 Halston Avenue. I couldn't breathe. I called them, warned them. They thought I was being paranoid, but agreed to stay with me that week, just to humor me. On the night of September 3rd, I stayed up, just in case. 2:36 a.m., the sky lit orange. A fire started in the house next door. Faulty wiring. It spread fast, engulfed the entire unit. If my parents had been home, if they'd even been asleep, they wouldn't have made it. I watched from the street as the flames danced. That was the night I stopped thinking of the phone as broken. It wasn't broken. It was leaking. Dripping fragments of the future, like a pipe cracked behind the wall. Nothing I could control, nothing I could predict. Just moments meant to happen. And me, standing there, trying to catch them in my hands like water. The messages didn't come every day, only after a drop, only when the screen broke slightly or glitched out, like it needed trauma to open the door. I started dropping the phone on purpose. Soft surfaces first, then harder ones. Each time I saw something, a name, a place, a time, a phrase. Eviction scheduled. Do not open the basement. She already knows. Some didn't make sense. Some still don't. Some, God help me, haven't happened yet. There was one just last week that chilled me to my bones. He knows you saw it. No date, no time. Just that. I don't know who he is, and now I'm afraid to drop it again. But also, I have to. Because if I don't know what's coming, I can't stop it. And if I can't stop it, then maybe one of these messages will finally come true. The first one, the one with my name on it.